Hello, my friends. This is Dr. B. Dr. B is the best doctor you can ever find. Dr. B knows it all in medicine, guys. 30 years in medicine. Dr. B wants to talk to you today about this recent news that we've had with our former President Joe Biden, who got diagnosed with prostate cancer, right? Dr. B cares about you, whether you're a man or a woman. So this video, short video, is about this recent news about prostate cancer screening, right? So if you're a man and you have a prostate, then this is for you. But if you're a woman and you have a male partner who has a prostate, then this video is also for you, because together you form a couple. You need to support each other, right? Guys, what we have learned from Joe Biden is crazy. We have learned, right, and it's a national news. I knew it before, but it has come back into my mind that the United States Preventive Services Task Force, USPSTF, United States Preventive Services Task Force, USPSTF. This organization, a government organization, recommends that men be screened for prostate cancer between the age of 55 and 69. Which means that for me, Dr. B, I just turned 50, in about 5 years, when I'm 55, I will have to start doing my regular yearly prostate cancer screening. And then the USPSTF recommends that you stop the screening once the man reaches the age of 70. No more screening at the age of 70 and above, right? That's what they say, and that's what nationally now has become known because of the cancer diagnosis in our former president, Joe Biden. Now, remember, guys, that breast cancer is the number one most common by incidence. Cancer in women, right? The number one cancer in women by incidence, right, is breast cancer. The number one cancer by incidence, means the number of new cases every year in men, is prostate cancer, right? So prostate cancer is the most common cancer in men, right? And breast cancer, the most common cancer in women. These are not the number one cancer killers, right? Remember that the number one cancer killer in both men and women is lung cancer. Lung cancer is the number one by far cancer killer in men and women. But the most common, the most frequent cancer that appears in men is prostate cancer, and in women is breast cancer. Now think about how crazy it is. Imagine, I'm 50 years old right now, right? So the USPSTF recommends that once I reach 55, I start my screening until the age of 70, right? But for God's sake, I am super healthy, right? In 20 years, I'll be 70 and I'll be so super healthy. I will still be working, right, at the clinic, seeing patients. God willing, I will still keep seeing you, right? But suddenly, by the age of 70, I need to stop doing prostate cancer screening. So me turning 70, still super healthy, right? I will be, I'm just telling you, I will be super healthy even by the age of 80, 90, God willing, right? But 70 is nothing. 70, most people retire by the age of 65. 70, I will still be looking great. Just like right now, no fat in my belly, in my tummy, all my virus, blood pressure, sugar, everything, hemoglobin A1C, liver function test, my heart, everything so super healthy, right? So suddenly, when I turn 70, despite being super healthy, because I keep exercising every day, I have a low stress life, I don't overeat, I eat a tiny bit every day, I sleep all the time, 9 hours at the same time, waking up in the morning, my brain refreshed, everything, right? And I eat not only a small amount of calories, but also a tiny bit, right? So I don't eat much. So I'm always lean, nice, just muscular. You can see the muscles under my skin because there's no fat, right? So suddenly, the USPS TF task force says, you know what, Dr. B, no more cancer screening for you because you're now 70. Really? So they bring these freaking excuses, right? That, there's no more and you need to screen after the age of 70 because the cancer, prostate cancer can be slow growing, the treatment can cause a lot of side effect, blah, 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 right? They bring always this kind of stuff. Now, who the heck these people are to give one guideline for all the men all around the USA, right? Everybody's different. There are some people who at the age of 70 are super fit, right, like me, super healthy. And there are some people, unfortunately, at the age of 40, the guy has so many diseases, heart failure, kidney failure, diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity. Half of our population, guys, is overweight, right? 30% of our population, 1/3 is absolutely obese, right? Obesity, body mass index at or above 30, right? So they are giving one guidelines and making it apply to every man in the United States, regardless of their gender, right? We know that black men are at way higher risk than white men to have aggressive prostate cancer at an early age, right? Regardless of all that, they give you one guideline for everybody. And they tell you, they bring all these reasons, right? One of which is that, well, the prostate cancer is slow growing. No, it's not. It can be definitely aggressive right at the beginning. Not every man is going to have a prostate cancer that is slow growing from the beginning, right? Many men are going to be diagnosed with a prostate cancer that has a Gleason histological grade of 5, right? The histology, I'm not talking about the Gleason score, I'm talking about the histological grade. The Gleason grade means when you look at the biopsy of the prostate cancer under the microscope and the pathologist can say, look, this looks like a pretty aggressive cancer. It's completely undifferentiated, right? Very aggressive. And the other guy is going to have a biopsy and, we look under the microscope. It's a grade 1 because the cancer looks pretty differentiated, right? It's not a very aggressive cancer. So everybody's different. Although a lot of men, but the vast majority of men have a cancer that slows pretty at a low grade and slowly becomes more aggressive. But the course varies a lot. So a guy's going to have a prostate cancer that is very slow growing at the beginning. After a few years, the guy, by the time the guy is 72, 73, 74. My God, the cancer going to be like Joe Biden's and metastasize to the bones, right? So, and then they say, well, the treatment can have a lot of side effects and can be worse than the disease. Okay, go tell that to Joe Biden, right? Joe Biden just retired. He got millions of dollars in the bank, a huge government pension and everything. But he's not gonna enjoy it because his doctor didn't screen him for prostate cancer. He said, okay, you're above 70, let it go. No more screening for prostate cancer. Now, would Joe Biden not be happier right now if he didn't have that prostate cancer, right? So it's completely baloney, it's BS to apply one guideline to every man and to say, well, every man in the United States, us, the bureaucrats at the United States Preventive Services Task Force, we are telling your doctor, your urologist, your family doctor, your internist to no longer screen you for prostate cancer. It is crazy. I mean, there's 70-year-old and 70-year-olds, right? The guy who is 70-year-old and has heart failure, kidney failure, and blah, blah, okay, maybe. The guy who has another type of cancer and he's 70, okay, maybe. The guy who's absolutely not healthy at the age of 70 because he has a very low life expectation, right? The guy has heart failure, kidney failure, hepatitis, cirrhosis, absolute big obesity. And I'm not criticizing guys. Guys, I'm a doctor. I love everyone, regardless of who they are and what sickness or disease they have. I'm not judging. But I'm just trying to put this in the context for you guys, right? Everybody's different. Everybody's going to get diseases and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying that the conditions are different between somebody who is 70 and is super fit because he's been dieting his whole life and exercising and not sleeping good and not smoking and nothing, no alcohol, checking his closing his mouth, not eating much, right? And somebody who indulges in food, in alcohol, in tobacco, lack of sleep. Do you know what I'm saying? Everybody's so different. But the USPSTF comes with one guideline for everybody. It applies to everybody at the age of 70, every man, regardless of their biological condition and their health condition. It is crazy. And then they bring all these fake excuses. So please, if you are 70 years old and above, and if you're in decent shape, right? If you have still a long life expectancy, Dr. B is 50 years old. He's hoping, God willing, that he's going to live until at least 100 years, right? God willing, until 100 years, I will keep seeing patients. God willing, until 100 years means 50 more years. 50 more years, I'll be here with you, talking to you about your health, helping you to age gracefully, helping you to not get scammed by the food industry, the wine industry, the cigarette industry, the marijuana industry, all these, and of course the pharmaceutical industry, right? So I will be super healthy when I'm 70 years old. It's just 20 years away, right? So if you, the man who is looking at me, the person who has a prostate, or the woman, the wife who has a male partner, if you are watching me right now, Dr. B, please continue your screening. If your insurance doesn't cover it, just pay out of pocket, right? Pay out of pocket. At least, right? At least, don't you want to know whether or not you have a cancer growing in your body, right? The USPSTF is saying, oh, forget about it, and it's a slow growing, but not all the time slow growing. And even if it is slow growing, for God's sake, don't you want to know at least that you have a cancer somewhere in your body, right? It's like the guy having cancer in the woman having cancer in the breast and say, well, you know, you're now 70, 60, 65 years old. No more mammography, no more breast cancer screening. But for God's sake, I know a lot of 70-year-old women. I see them in the clinic. They come to check their heart and their carotid, the cardiovascular system. The woman is 70 years old, but she's really good looking. She has maintained herself. She has dieted and she's exercising regularly. She looks really good, that woman. She's not perfectly lean like when she was 20 years old, but that woman is walking great. Her brain is super sharp, right? She still keeps working as an accountant or as I don't know what the cazzo, but she's active in her community and this and that. So that 70-year-old or 60-year-old, 65-year-old, 75-year-old woman, a lot of them who still look really good, we have to tell them, you know what, no more mammography, but don't you want at least to know that you got a tumor, a cancer growing in your boobs, right? So it's the same thing for guys. Men out there, 70 years or above, don't you want to know at least that you have a cancer growing in your prostate, right? And then decide, don't allow the bureaucrats at the USPS, TF determine your destiny and your decision. You must be in charge of your own health, right? And not allow those bureaucrats at the United States Preventive Services Task Force make the decision for you that suddenly by the age of 70 you need to stop. So the insurance companies take advantage and say, oh, you know what, we're not going to reimburse for that blood test or that ultrasound that you had. For God's sake, guys, pay out of pocket. If you are 70 years old, you hopefully have a little bit of savings at least, right? Pay out of pocket. I see people like my sister and her husband, guys. They spend $250, right, at the restaurants. Ooh, they take her kids, and she takes her kids and her husband. $250 at the restaurant, stuffing their mouth with food and everything. They are okay spending $250, right? But then it comes to a little blood test that I tell her it's a blood test for inflammation, to screen for inflammation, right? It's called an inflammation panel. She says, oh, my doctor said the insurance is not going to cover it, so I'm not going to do it. I'm like, listen, it's going to cost you $80, $70. Just pay for it. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. But the week before, right, she went to the restaurant. She sat down with her kids and her husband. Everybody stuffing their food with their stomach with processed food, $250, another $20 for tips, right? I mean, it's crazy, right? People are willing to spend money to go to a movie theater, restaurant, blah, 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 little trip to Napa Valley or to drink wine, blah, 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 go to these restaurants and stuff. By the end of the weekend, they have spent $500 on these restaurants and hotel here, hotel there. And, well, stay home on a weekend, save that money, and use it to pay for your own screening that the insurance company doesn't want to pay for. Because remember, guys, the insurance companies, they are in the business to make a profit. So they collect the money from your premiums, from millions of people who pay their premiums, and then they deny, right? They deny treatments. They deny medications, treatment, procedures, surgical interventions, blah, blah, blah. And they are going to say, well, the United States Preventive Services Task Force said, because you're a 70-year-old man or 75, we're not going to cover for your prostate cancer screening. And you can tell them, listen, I look so good, I'm so healthy, I'm healthier than a 50-year-old. How come you don't want to? They're going to say, well, get out of here, right? So pay for your own screening, guys. It is all worth it. Even if you're not going to do any treatment of your prostate cancer, because it is definitely slow growing, then at least you know that you have it. And then the next year, you're going to have the ultrasound, maybe later another biopsy that will show, oh, Jesus Christ. Now, it used to be a Gleason grade 1. I'm not talking about the score. The grade means the degree of histological differentiation, how malignant and abnormal is that cancer, which will become therefore aggressive, right? It used to be 2 years ago a Gleason grade 1. Now, for God's sake, it's a grade 3. So maybe you can talk to your urologist and start doing this treatment, that treatment, iridium therapy, external beam radiation therapy, chemotherapy, surgery, whatever the cut. So you decide. You are the only one to decide and give informed consent to your urologist. But if you don't know that you have a cancer growing in your prostate, for God's sake, how are you going to make that informed decision and say, you know what, I'm just going to monitor it. You know what, I'm not going to do anything about it. You know what, I want to have a treatment right now. You know what I'm saying? So as our medical system is becoming more socialized, more bureaucratic, right? More and more politicians and bureaucrats are deciding our healthcare for us, right? And the best example is this poor Joe Biden, who is now diagnosed with aggressive stage 4 prostate cancer. May, for God's sake, he still has grandkids, he still has his son, his wife. He wants to be around. He wants to enjoy his retirement from politics, right? And I'm not here to talk about politics, whether you or not you like him or don't like him. I don't give a cut. I'm a doctor. I treat my patients regardless of their political orientation. So this poor Joe Biden, wouldn't he rather not have that prostate cancer? Wouldn't he rather not have known that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, when the prostate cancer appeared in his prostate, and he was absolutely ignorant about it, right? Until now, suddenly, oh, look at that, my doctor found that now I have an aggressive stage 4 metastasis to his bones. That's it, he's done. They're going to put him on hormone replacement, on hormone therapy, right, to suppress his testosterone. It's called testosterone suppression therapy, TST, testosterone suppression therapy, so that they cut completely his testosterone in the hope that that cancer will no longer grow, because you remember that the prostate gland, since we are a teenager, as our testosterone starts to spike in our blood since being a teenager, the prostate grow, and as we get older and older, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually cancer appears. So the prostate cancer feeds itself with testosterone to grow, to develop, to metastasize. So by cutting his testosterone, they are hoping that it will stop the cancer, and who knows, in a few years he might die of dementia. Who knows, guys? It's a sad situation, but those of you who are 70 years and above, listen to me. Keep doing your screening, and those of you who are still young men like me, 50, remember, if you reach the age of 70, and you are in good shape, decent shape. You don't have to be in good shape, but you have to be in decent shape to have enough life expectancy, right? If your life expectancy at 70 is just a few years because you have this disease, that disease, heart failure, kidney failure, you had a kidney transplant and a liver transplant, and you are morbidly obese and blah, 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 blah. Well, most probably you're not going to have a huge, long life expectancy, right? So maybe in that case, you can decide with your doctor, you know, I'm not going to do it because, and there are online some website when you can enter your age, your body mass index, your blood pressure, your this, your that, your this and that. They give you a score and an estimated life expectancy based on your glucose, fasting glucose, your hemoglobin A1C, your cholesterol. You enter all that, right? Your blood pressure, blah, 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 your body mass index, how much fat you have, how much this, how much that, do you have this disease, that disease, right? And then when you enter it in that computer, in that website, they give you an estimated life expectancy. How long are you gonna live, right? So you can do that at any age, right? At any age you can go online, as long as you are a mature adult. So I can do that, and I did that already a couple of years ago, and my life expectancy, that computer, that website said Dr. B's life expectancy 2 years ago, I was 48, is 100 years old. So supposedly, according to that, my life expectancy will be that I can live up to 100 years. So supposedly, on that website, I will be able, if I keep maintaining my current physiological healthy, super healthy status by sleeping good, having low stress, controlling my blood pressure, my food, no diabetes, no this, no that, no this, no that, I can hope based on that that I will live up to 100, and God willing I will die in my sleep at the age of 100, no suffering, no nothing. But up to then I will still be here talking to you guys and still be seeing patient guys. So do that, guys. If you are a young man, remember that once you reach the age of 70, go look at your life expectancy, enter it on the computer, on these websites, and if your life expectancy is pretty decent, then guys, keep screening yourself for prostate cancer, right? If your life expectancy is really poor and just a few years, then there's no point. Because unfortunately your life expectancy is not going to change by treating your prostate cancer, right? Nothing. That prostate cancer most probably is going to be not aggressive, slow growing. By that time you will have passed away of another condition, right? Guys, I see every day at the clinic people having hearts and kidneys and cardiovascular system, livers, in a disastrous situation. The guy is 50 years old like me, right? The patient, right? Has stage 2, maybe going to stage 3 heart failure, guys. And our team of cardiologists trying this medication, that medication, this procedure, that procedure, right? Just last week I had this patient, very kind gentleman, unfortunately extremely overweight. He was just 5 years older than me, 55. Had destroyed his kidneys, right? He had a fistula. He was waiting for a kidney transplant. Massively overweight, obesity, morbidly obese, right? Diabetes, high blood pressure had killed his kidney. He had hepatitis, fatty liver. His heart was in poor condition. That gentleman, unfortunately, is not going to have a huge life expectancy, even if he's able, from now that he's 55, able to reach the age of 70, right? By the age of 70, I mean, having prostate cancer will not matter at all for an individual like that. I hope you understand what I'm saying, right? So don't listen to one guideline that these bureaucrats make apply to the entire population of men. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different life expectation. Everybody has a different physiological body, different health. You know better than those politicians and bureaucrats what to do about your own screening, about your own diagnosis, what to do if they find cancer in your prostate. You must decide, not those bureaucrats. And remember, not, of course, those insurance companies. If they don't reimburse that screening, pay for it. Remember, guys, our country, our nation, right, the United States of America, we have $37 trillion of national debt, right? I'm not talking about the budget deficit. I'm talking about the national debt. Our country has $37 trillion, almost 37. It's getting there. $37 trillion of national debt. There is just no money to pay for everything that we need to pay for, right? Because we have so much debt and we keep spending so much. Just under the 4 years of Joe Biden, our national debt increased by $4 trillion. Every year that Joe Biden was president, and I'm not saying regardless of your politic and my politic, our national debt under Joe Biden every year increased by $1 trillion. Guys, I'm not talking about millions or billions or billions, millions or billions. I'm talking about trillions of dollars. In 4 years, the Biden administration increased our national debt by $4 trillion. So now we are at $37 trillion of national debt, and we keep spending $4.9 trillion, right? Last year, in 2023, it was $4.9 trillion that our nation spends on healthcare. $4.9 trillion, right? Once we get the statistics for last year, 2024, pretty soon, it might be probably $5 trillion. And in 2025, it's getting bigger and bigger and higher every year. Means every year we are spending more and more trillions of dollars, right? This year, 2025, probably $5 trillion. We will know in 2 years, right? But now we know that in 2023, 2 years back, we spend $4.9 trillion in healthcare. In 2024, when we get the statistics pretty soon in a few months, it will be probably already $5 trillion. For 2025, go beyond $5 trillion, guys. So we spend $5 trillion on healthcare every year on our population, right? And we have $37 trillion of national debt, right? So all these insurance companies, these hospitals, right? There's a huge lineup. My uncle, he had to wait 1.5 years to get his knee replacement, right? It takes forever to have approval for any surgery, any procedure. They don't want to reimburse this medication, this treatment, that treatment, this treatment. I mean, they're trying to cut on healthcare expenditure, right? Whether it's your doctor, your health insurance, your hospital, everybody in the healthcare industry, they are all pushing the hospitals or the public hospital. I'm not talking about the private clinics, right, and private hospitals. They want to make more money. But the insurance companies, right, are trying to cut on reimbursement and on approval of your surgery. So if you want to have your cataract surgery, you're going to have to wait 6 months. You want to have your back surgery, you're going to have to wait 2 years. You're going to have a kidney transplant. For a kidney transplant, guys, because of this huge lineup to get a kidney transplant, and of course it costs a lot of money for this insurance company to reimburse. It takes 10 years, an average of 10 years in California where I live, for patients to get eventually their kidney, right? It's crazy. So there's no money. Insurance companies, they want to save money from your premium to not pay you anything, to not reimburse anything. And public hospitals, they're going to delay your procedure and everything. And of course, all these task forces, they come and they give you these guidelines so that the government, the country can save, the insurance company can save more money so that you don't get screened, and then you get diagnosed with prostate cancer at the age of, so you stop screening at the age of 70. Imagine at the age of 75, you get diagnosed like Joe Biden with metastatic stage 4 aggressive cancer of your prostate. I mean, it's crazy. Imagine 75. Guys, when I'm 75, that will be in 25. I still be looking great. My brain will be short. I will keep doing medicine. I want to travel around. I want to be, for God's sake, right? I love you guys. I really do. I care about you. Dr. B cares about you. Dr. B loves you. Dr. B is not here to sell you any fake stuff, any fake products. Dr. B is here because he loves you. He cares about you, regardless of your gender, your ethnicity, your political orientation. I am everything blind regarding those, right? Please get back to me if you have any comments or any questions. I will get back to you. It might take time because I'm busy and everything. I want to stay very healthy even at the end, at the age of 70, so that I can keep doing my prostate cancer screening and age gracefully. I want to help you guys to age gracefully. I love you. God bless you for your viewership. Get back to me if you have any question down there, and I promise I will get back to you. I give you a big hug regardless of who you are, and God willing, I see you in my next video. God bless you. Thank you.